Welcome back. So now that you've introduced the sandpaper letters to your child, you might be ready to introduce word building. So in the Montessori philosophy, Dr. Maria Montessori realized that children are much more ready for writing than they are for reading in the beginning stages. So after they know their letter sounds, they can start building words. So by building words with the movable alphabet, they're actually writing, even though their little hand muscles may not be ready for writing actual words on paper yet. They can write words with the movable alphabet. So the printable movable alphabet that you got in your Kickstarter pack, you may want to print about 5 copies of that on cardstock. And if you find that the corners are too sharp, again, use a corner cutter to round those corners. And there's no need to cut them out like the wooden ones. If you can afford a set of wooden ones or even foam ones, that's great. It would be ideal that the color of the alphabet letters match the color of your tactile letters too. So like red or pinkish for all of your consonants and blue for the vowels, if you can. If not, just work with what you have. And again, I printed these on cardstock and they work great. So after your child has mastered enough letters, so enough consonants and vowels to build some words, you can gather pictures or actual small miniature objects or even large objects. Like you can grab a mug from your cabinet or a glass or a cup or a ball or anything from around your house. You can go on a scavenger hunt and build words from what you see. So I'm going to give you 3 activities today, just as promised, of things that you can do with the movable alphabet that you've printed. The first thing you can do before you get started is you may want to make some sort of storage for your letters. One really easy thing to do is to use cardboard. And it's not going to be the most beautiful thing, but it will be the cheapest thing that you can find. So do you see how this box has sections for each of the letters? And if I were to take out all of the letters, there's a printed version down at the bottom. So you could print an extra set and glue. So you could take an Amazon box, a piece of cardboard, you lay everything out, measure the cardboard, and then hot glue, cut up the cardboard pieces to put in the middle, and hot glue your little containers together. And then hot glue some sides, and you'll have an awesome movable alphabet container that fits your cards perfectly. So that's something that you can do. Another thing that you can do is you can use a larger work surface and lay them out. Help your child, because that's a big task. Lay them out ahead of time, or help your child lay them out for the lesson in alphabetical order. So, and then another hack before we get started that I did as a homeschooling mom, I just had my daughter, I just have one child usually at a time using the movable alphabet. My second daughter is not ready for it yet, but as I introduced letters to my daughter, letter sounds, I populated the box with those letters. So my box was not full with all of the letters of the alphabet. It just had empty compartments for letters she hadn't learned yet. And it really helped, and it gave her confidence to build using the sounds that she was familiar with. So that being said, choose objects or pictures or things with sounds you've already taught your child and watch him or her fly. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is, let's say I've introduced all of the sounds for cat. I'm gonna pull out a picture of a cat, I'm gonna take my actual pet cat, or I'm gonna find a miniature toy cat, or it could be a stuffed cat. And I'm gonna say, cat. Do you think we can write the word cat? I have to sound out all of the sounds in cat. Okay. K, cat. K, ooh, k. I know k. And you find it k. Cat. K, at. And you can help your child count the sounds k, at, if your child's struggling. So k, at. T, k, at. marked, you wrote the word cat. And then you can do bug, you can do mug, you can do anything else that you've introduced. Start with CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant. 3-letter words, and it'll just help your child build confidence. Now, after you've done that a few times and added some words, another thing that you can do is you can say, oh, I need to make a grocery list. We need milk, we need eggs, we need butter. Can you help me make that list? Can you write it out and then I'll copy your list onto my paper? So your child can literally write like milk, and if your child writes milk like that's great. Don't correct it. So the top 2 rules, don't correct anything that's misspelled. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2, do not ask your child to read back what he or she has written, because that's not, usually they won't be able to do that quite yet, especially if they're using inventive spelling and it's really not how the word is spelled. But if they're sounding it out and they're finding those sounds, that's awesome. Let them go. So they can make a list. And then the next thing that you can do, so I would start by doing CVC words, get them comfortable with that, with objects or things around your house. Second thing I would have you do is make a grocery list and actually shop for the things on your grocery list. And the third thing is tell a story. Invite your child to tell a story using the movable alphabet. Of course, you'll need most, if not all, of the sounds by the time your child's ready to tell a story. But as soon as you have most or all of the sounds, start with once upon a time, or what did you do yesterday? Oh, you played with your cousins? I played with my cousins yesterday. Can we write that sentence? And your stories will get longer and more inventive, and you can take turns. Just know that since you're homeschooling, your child really needs you to be excited and involved in the process. There isn't another child that your child is watching and gets encouraged from usually. So make sure that you're the enthusiastic cheerleader and the encourager. And if you get out the movable alphabet and your child doesn't want to work with it, sit down on the floor and write your own story. And let your child go off and come back and maybe be interested that way. So just don't get discouraged. This works. It's just follow the steps, go be enthusiastic, go slowly, and have fun with it. So I hope you enjoy those freebies. I'll be back in your inbox tomorrow with the sandpaper numbers. And I'll show you 3 fun ways that you can use the sandpaper numbers in your homeschool with your child.